Yagoni Maya Sio, Yagoni Maya Sio. When they send me mother power, when they send me mother education, when they send me mother development, ni Maya Sio, Yagoni Maya Sio. We are warriors, conquerors, we never lose a battle. We are leaders. Waloni mao, kwantuto. Waloni mao, kwantuto. Kwayo, kawekata kwayo. Nima, make kwayo. Kawekata kwayo. Kiani manele kabo, kwayo. Kiani manele kabo, kwayo. Yago ni mayasio, yago ni mayasio. Yagoni Maya Sio, Yagoni Maya Sio, Yagoni Maya Sio, Imakendela konyane kuela kopaka, konyane odokola, ekota kosalala, amasi selanga kani mabeka zo, kawa beka kani mabeka.
Okay, welcome to Truth of the Matter, live from. Welcome back. This is Truth of the Matter, live from Nima Dina Television and radio station. My name is Mark. This program discusses issue of national concern, issue that have to do with the growth and development of our country, Mama Liberia, Nima, yeah, Liberia. We discuss it right here. On today's presentation, my name is Mark Dunn. My guest is the program, that's the PMC chair of Nima Kante, Mr. Harris Yedeme. Nima Kante is part of the 15 counties that are since embarked on the creation. It said the project management committee. The project management committee is a committee or a group of people that are set up by the government of Liberia so as to spearhead developments within each of Liberia's 15 counties. And then Nima County is of no exception. The PMC came to being during the presidency of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the former president of Liberia, who then thought it was that there should be, apart from the superintendent, apart from the development superintendent, there should be a management team set up specifically for development for projects within each of the 15 countries of Liberia. So today we have with us the PMC, that's the Project Management Committee Chairman of Nema County, Mr. Harris Yedemi. Mr. Harris, Mr. Yedemi, it's my pleasure having this hour on the TV.
Thank you, Mark.
Has Nima, it's been a while since, I mean, we used to be at Capitol Building,
Yeah,
and then at the time you used to do a wallet,
yeah, sure.
and you're a big man now. How are things?
Yes, everything's very well. The new account is okay,
Okay.
and the project management committee is okay.
So everything is smoothly. And when it comes to projects, how you people are coping with things?
Um, of course, the record said the project management committee is a technical arm of the council and solely established by law, by the budget law to manage county and social development funds.
Mhm.
And that's just exactly what we're doing here.
Mhm.
And as we speak, we have several projects running in the county, some of which have already completed.
Okay, before we go, let's even though I talk about what the project committee is made of, I mean the project management committee, how is it, but just tell us a bit about maybe somebody who may not know about the PMC or who's their first time hearing about PMC. Can you just give us throw a light on it, maybe in a minute or two?
Okay, the PMC, the Project Management Committee, like I said,
Mm.
is uh, is a committee set up by our government through the budget law for every county to manage county and social development funds. The essence of that
Run how many of them that we can post of actually that is ongoing right now?
if you like,
Mm.
we took over uh, 2020 September after the council. And if you can remember, we have some issues with our SNSD.
Yeah.
Some of the lawmakers have some issues, and some of our police have some issues.
Yeah.
And then we went to court, and we started with the eighth circuit court, judicial circuit court in San Court. And then we put Renal Rudy for all to continue the work or for us to take office. And then the guys took a few of the people who went there, even though there were two petitions that were brought forth. That's injunction and the petition to order stand.
Okay.
What the law says it didn't file the petition or the contention, so they have to go to work. And therefore we do the work by the mandate of the Supreme Court. And then the issue of the declaratory judgment is still at Supreme Court. And as you may remember, the process took some time. Like I said, we were elected in September, and the process of court from here and there took
So,
some time.
just historically, how many members made of the PMC? Uh, uh,
Three
Thank
members:
you.
the chairman, the treasurer, and the controller.
Okay.
And so when we returned to the county after the court process, and now we engaged vigorously the procurement process, which has some time to, because you have to start the procurement plan, take it to Monrovia, and wait for the PPCC to approve that. And after PPCC approval, you have to go through big evaluation, set up a big evaluation panel. In fact, firstly, you have to advertise all the different projects that are in the procurement plan. And the advertisement will take some time to, because you have different methods of procurement. For example,
it seems like the process is very difficult. As a result, you may not do many things in a year because of all of the procedure you just
That's the law. It has to be followed, and that's the reason why you see that there will be some set of delays in starting the implementation of the project. And so when there are delays, I just try to reach at something. So with all of the process, the complicated process that took so long time now, and before project contracts were issued, we already ran into the beginning season. And so most of the projects we give out to contractors were almost, contracts were almost given at the budget of the season. And so we saw most of the contractors found some difficulties in implementing the project during the rainy season. For example, we did a lot of bridges, we're doing a lot of bridges in Nema. So you cannot easily do a bridge during rainy season time. And so most of the contractors go to our office for extension because they found some difficulties in implementing the bridge at that particular time. And so we accepted. But again, some of them have materials inside, for example, cement, different materials. And so if you defer implementation to another time, which will be dry season, let's say about 4 to 5 months, you have to have issue with the cement as on ground. And so all those issues came into play. Howbeit, the projects are well ongoing. If you like, I could name all the projects in their statuses.
We'll come to that, but let's start from when your administration, your team, and you and your team, when you people took over, was there some notes given to you to say that yes, for example, SYZ, for example, there were SYZ projects ongoing before you guys. There were not anything or notes.
Absolutely not at all. And we raise our superintendent to make those responsible to do that take over note and to no avail. Not at all.
Is that also making your job difficult for you?
Somehow difficult. But again, we went to the PMC as experienced people and we know how to navigate our way. And the kind of success we have now is as a result of how we have how brilliant we were and the wide range of experience, and then we have so many areas, and also we deploy it, and then we have the success we have now.
When you say success, it means that you don't have much hurdles now as it relates to doing your work.
With everything, but especially project implementation, there will always be challenges.
You were talking about, Mr. Yeremi, you were talking about procurement process and
those are some challenges.
For how long? Sometimes each procurement process will last for before getting to another project.
Sometimes if you're not careful, 5 months.
Wow.
Sometimes if you are not careful, 5 months. For example, you will like now we're discussing Capital City. We'll go to Capital City. If decisions are made about projects in the different districts, we will have to go to Capital District City to decide on all the amounts allotted districts. That alone is another time. You have 9 districts in Nema. And so we will go to each of the districts to have a district city. Is that district city that will inform the procurement plan? And so the procurement plan will have to go to Monrovia. We'll have to have enough time to run after it, maybe like 2-3 weeks. And after it's approved, we'll revert back to the county and then put it into the public as an advertisement, because we have different methods. For example, NCB calls for advertisement for at least 6 weeks. And so you have NCB that will go for that kind of long time just for advertisement. And then when the advertisement is done, when all the bids are bought by all the different interested companies, there will be a time they will come again and submit all their bids. And when those bids are submitted, the superintendent is again set up a bid evaluation panel who will have another time by law. Who will have another time, not more not less than 2 weeks to evaluate all the different,
You think the law is
documents.
making it much difficult that projects are not being fast tracked? The thing is it humbling somehow that you can, for example, through your committee, through and the leadership of Lima County Caucus can come together and maybe appeal to the government, oh yeah, some of the clauses within the PMC law is making things difficult, development not to fast track. From what you are explaining, as a chairman, it's a long haul thing.
If that happens, it'll be fine. But I find it difficult because the law is not only made for Lima County.
Yeah.
The law is there.
And speaking things
we have procurement law, that's the PPC law, we have PFM law, we have a different battle laws that support that. So if that law could be there, it would not easily be Lima County law for Lima leadership. So
I'm talking about doing some amendment that will enhance development process quickly.
That would be fine. That would be very, very appreciated. Not only to the Lima County PMC, but with everybody. That would be appreciated. But I find it difficult. Again, the law knows why it sees it has all that procedure. And so I think it's for transparency.
So with what you have explained so far, you did not get any takeover takeover note, turnover note. As a result, you have a difficult starting. And what did the previous administration tell you when you ascended to the position and then without any turnover note?
Without turnover note, we started well. We didn't have difficult starting. The only difficulties, the challenge is the bureaucratic arrangement in the procurement processes. Any PMC, whether you spend 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, you still have to go through those same processes. That is just a procurement process. So I don't call that difficulty starting because we never had a turnover. Like I said, we came with vast knowledge and experience, and we took over immediately, and we knew exactly what we could do. We knew exactly what we some of
knew the problem, so it was not strange to you.
Some of our staff, some of the members of the PMC, current members of the PMC, did conducted training for the past PMC. So the PMC already averse as to how to start, and so we started on our note. But the only disappointment was that we never had, there was no turnover, which is bad for the decision. I don't care what happens. When you're leaving, you have to leave a note down. I don't care what happens. That's professionally, bounding on everybody to do.
Okay, if you just joined us, you're watching the Truth of the Matter here on at this time from Monrovia. This program is on Nimatina Television, also in collaboration with Liberia Public Radio as well. I want to say thanks for joining us. In case you're just coming our way, our guest today is the Project Management Committee Chairman of Lima County, Mr. Harris Yedemin. He's our guest, and he's going to be answering more and more questions here today. But let's take a quick break to do a small adjustment here, to do some adjustments, technical adjustments. Let's do that quickly.
Liberia matters to us, so Accelerometer. You matter to Accelerometer.
Hello, Accelerometer Liberia, in her efforts to communicate necessary information with the affected community members in which she operates, presents a drama titled A Better Tomorrow, a story of a company striving to bring a better life to all community members in its operational area.
Come in, please.
Morning. Good
morning, oh, madam.
Hello, Chairman Manjo.
Okay, welcome back. After that quick break from our partner Accelerometer Liberia, we are back and we are back for good. So, who pays the PMC? Because sometimes people see the PMC to be, you guys are making a lot of money. That's why some of your colleagues tell you.
No, we are not making a lot of money. In fact, a lot of people making a lot of money. And a
More
lot of
than the
money,
PMC.
more than us.
Mm.
We are paid by the fund.
Yeah.
As you know, as
The
you
fund that you do generate.
the fund is County Social Development Fund.
Oh, okay.
As you may know, after canvassing, the canvassing have a resolution, and the resolution will say maybe 5%, 7%, 6% for PMC operation.
Wow.
And once that PMC
You
operation,
don't have a strict salary.
no, once that PMC operation is budget is established by the resolution, the county administration along with the caucus will sit and disaggregate that particular PMC. For example, if it is 100,000, it will be disaggregated to be inclusive of the salaries of the members of the PMC and the staff, the support staff. So the salary structure is determined by the gathering of the stakeholders, the county administration, and the legislative caucus.
Okay.
And so that is decided there. But now it's not actually much money.
People think that because you are a son with a vehicle, they think that you make a lot of money. Iris is making huge money. And it needs to be here, it still needs to be accountable. Every now and then people are being pressed.
No. In fact,
In terms of answering questions to the citizens, that's what I mean.
no, in fact, of course, I appreciate the citizens for the level of opportunity given us to serve at that level. I appreciate the citizens. But in fact, you will be interested to know that this current PMC reduced its salary by more than 40%.
Why?
On the
Why you did that to yourself?
Why we did that? Because that was a recommendation from our people. And so it was part of our campaign speech that we'll go to the PMC that will make us serious money, or that will make too much of money. But
We want to serve, not about money.
To serve the people because we all are from the country, and we got the country at heart. So we made it our campaign promise, and we lay by it. And so if you ask members of the past PMC how much you're making, and you take more than 40% of that money and reduce it now, then you know exactly where we stand. And how passionate we are in serving our country.
There were some fundings being generated or that came through the country, the CSD, and that of the development fund, and that amounted to almost $3 million, approximately $2.7 million, including some equipment. So far, how are the management of the funding and that of the equipment been?
Okay. That goes to county council. The county council decides how that figure should be allotted to different priority areas. And that figure was decided or disaggregated by the county council during the 2020 county council sitting, the Sanipoli. Even though we were not at the PMC, we inherited that.
You inherited the amount of
This
funds that were allocated.
that was allocated. Allocation, we inherited allocation, the resolution. We were not a part of the making of the resolution because we were out. So we saw the resolution with the superintendent, and the 2.7 were already distributed to different priority areas. But it only behooves us.
Yeah.
What is required of us is to implement it before, because the resolution is a law. You cannot deviate a cent, an inch from that resolution. And attempt to deviate an inch from that resolution, you are violating the law. And then people will call it misapplied, misappropriation, and all of those.
Then those are calling for
And
all this.
so exactly what was placed in the resolution is what we're doing now. We are now doing anything outside the resolution. And so that amount that you just called was established in the last county council resolution, even though we were not a major, in fact, we were not a particular in the
Was it a fund generated to already in the account of the PNC, or was an allocation or an estimation or something that a proposal?
Okay, that was a proposal.
Okay.
Because a resolution is always a proposal.
Okay.
What it requires is that when the government of Liberia appropriate any amount in the national budget, if you any other country, you go to county city and do a plan in the form of resolution towards that particular appropriation in the national budget. And so when the appropriation was made by the national government, the county council went to work and did application. In fact, the application was made on 2.8 million to be exact.
Mhm.
So you know exactly it's an application, and therefore we did not raise 2.8 million. And so we raised a little below 2.8 million, which was around 2.7 million, and the rest of it was not raised.
So what's about the issue of equipment? Some moving equipment. I know Nima County was part of the counties that during the previous presidency that had some moving equipment. Nima had almost 22 pieces of them, and then it has been managed. The PMC is also responsible for the management of such equipment and
Okay. I don't know whether you've been having so many opportunities to see, to lay out on a country resolution. The resolution spoke clearly about the 2.7 million you speaking of.
Yeah.
The resolution spoke clearly about more than about around 2.2 million being already allotted during the 2018 country resolution.
Okay.
The 2.2 million was already allotted
for
2018.
That was 2 years before.
But then it was restated in the 2020 country resolution. So that was 2 years before the 2020 resolution. So the 2018 resolution considers the issue of repair of machines. The 2018 resolution also considered those different projects that have been highlighted right now that we are currently implementing. The 2018 resolution reflect that. The amount that was just a new money that was allotted, that actually allotted during the Gong County sitting was around 600 and some more thousand. 600 and some more thousand.
So it was what some accounting may say broad foul.
Yes, that was a broad foul. The 2.2 million was a broad foul from almost 2.2 million was a broad foul in terms of allocation to different projects. In terms of allocation to different projects, it was not an amount that was in the account. You get me right?
Yeah.
It was not an amount that was in the account, but it was a plan that was brought forward. So it was restated. So that plan captured how much should be spent on yellow machine for repairs, how much goes to all the different projects in the county. That particular plan that was brought forward captured all of that. So what we're just doing is that we're just going directly by the plan. And then implementing exactly what the plan says. Because like I said before, you cannot deviate. There is no way.
How was the repairing of those equipment? Because there were people who were complaining that since there was a company hired, I listened to one of the lawmakers who recently said there was a company hired to do the repairing of the equipment, and the county is still owing the company certain money. As a result, the company is refusing to continue with the repairing of those equipment.
Okay. I don't want to go in debate with lawmakers because they have resources.
Yeah.
But for the sake of the public, I'll provide the information regarding the yellow machine because there has become one of the sensitive issues, or one of the striking issues in recent days. Like I said, we inherited a resolution, and there was a lockman in the county resolution for the repair of yellow machine. As you may be aware, in Neighbor County, those machines were granted from 2000, if I'm not making a mistake, 2016, up to the time we took over, all of the machines were grounded, meaning they all were down. They were not in movable condition. To the extent that when we saw they were almost scrapped. Imagine machines of such nature with expensive parts, packed in the bush all over around the county. And there's no proper care, no proper attention given to those machines. So when we took over, they were almost scrapped. Even though there was a plan to repair those machines since 2018. And the plan spoke to certain amount to repair since 2018. You know exactly from 2018 to 2020 when we took over, there will be some instances in between that will cause more harm to the machine.
There was some of the money was already been spent.
So I'm saying there was a plan to repair. For example, 2018 they said 500,000 repair the yellow machine at that time, and from that time from 2018 to 2020, you know exactly if you have 500,000 budget for 2018,
Some were spent.
if you have 500,000 budget for 2018, and then the machine still remain like that, you didn't touch the machines, and the budget roll over the whole of 2020, you know that from 2018 to 2020, you obviously have to increase the budget because something greater might have happened in the machine that will increase the budget or the repair of the machine. And so when we took over, again with that, we uphold the law. What we saw both, we uphold it. And then we went to work. I heard people say, some of the people you claiming that is making expression, I heard someone else say, we just want to handpick people who are not in yellow machine repair business, who are not selling yellow machine spare parts.
Was your team part of the hiring of a company to repair the machine?
Okay, this is how it works.
Okay.
Like I said, the PMC implements social development for it with the coordination of the county leadership.
Okay.
The county leadership has a procurement unit. Nimba County has a procurement unit. Yeah. And then Nimba County also has a development superintendent. And the development superintendent has all of the development staff, engineers, and everybody in his office. Okay. And now, before we engage any project, it will start first with the development office, who will draw all the technical specification, the drawings and everything about that particular project. Even if it is repair or innovation, it is buying spare part whatsoever, we will do all of that, submit the procurement to procurement unit of the county, headed by the procurement director of the county. Submit the procurement unit of the county, even though in consultation with the PMC. So the procurement unit advertise, do all the development, put in procurement plans, send it to PCC, run after the PCC approves, and procurement unit advertise that. I'm saying procurement unit, I hope you getting me. I'm saying procurement unit advertise all the different projects, and after that, the procurement committee headed by the superintendent awards the contract with the signature of the superintendent. Awarding the contract, the superintendent is the offerer of the contract. And so that's how it works. So what we can do normally at the stage of the contract, we witness the contract. Because you see most of our contracts, some of our contracts you see the PMC witnessing the contract, but the superintendent is offerer. And who gives the contract out. And so that's how it works. So it's a whole bunch of coordination in the county regarding the student development. So I hear a lot of people talk about PMC. It's not just PMC, it's the entire county.
So the PMC is just a conduit through which
the PMC is a technical arm. So when you have hitches somewhere, you refer to the PMC. The PMC has some technical staff, and then the PMC will tell you, they tell you, it will help you along the way. You know, because the PMC mostly serve a compliance person. You know, because the PMC serve a compliance person, so they know they are abreast with the law. So if you have issues, the PMC will come in and explain, you know, based on the laws, what you're supposed to do. You know, that's how the coordination works. And then, by extension, you see, if we were to pay for a particular milestone of a project, the request will be generated from the development superintendent office. Because all the contractors write to the development superintendent. for request for money for milestone payment. They didn't write to us. They write to the business office. Because the reason is because the business superintendent is one who will go and assess the project to determine the validity, whether you are correct on your request, whether the milestone you requested for have been met, whether all of the different things are put in, the cement, the type of cement used, the type of black you use, whether the bricks is strong, is not strong, the development determines that. Okay. So when you make a request to the development made a request to us now to pay you. Based on the development request, now we look at all the legal documents and legality surrounding before we have compliance. So we look at legality surrounding and pay.
So it's a whole lot of stuff.
A whole lot of
it's not just one thing that somebody will just request.
So
let's go ahead with it.
So with the yellow machine, we went to work and we did about this now. Always saying we because
you are doing it in collaboration with
even though as a campaign unit is the one responsible for procurement, but the PMC also coordinate with them to do that. So when I say we, the county authority and entire PMC, everybody work together. So what we went to work and we did a procurement for all the projects, including spare part procurement, supply of spare part. That was huge. That was significantly, what went into the repair of the machines, and so the procurement was done. Now we notice that the amount, the contract amount exceeded the threshold to be signed by the superintendent or to be issued by the superintendent, and so by law, such contract exceed threshold has to go to Minister of Finance, has to go to Minister of Justice to see the legal nature and whatever about it, and then they will be the one to offer the contract. And so if you look at the contract was yellow machine paper that they're talking about all over, you will see that it was signed by the Minister of Finance,
Minister of Justice,
signed by the Minister of Justice. It's not the PMC. You will never even see anything on that contract at PMC. The only person that owns is the superintendent, because the superintendent is in the country, he's the head of the procurement unit in the country, so he has to take signature on that contract.
Okay.
And so that how the contract, the contract for spare part went. It's not just about things. I hear a lot of people say investigate to pick somebody. And now the person
the issue about handpick, he keeps stressing on the handpick issue.
Because they make it appear like we have repaired yellow machines. Because we handpick somebody, a person can scan on the yellow machine, and the yellow machine are not working anymore because we didn't select the appropriate people, so they scan. So they make it appear like that.
It's not.
So you will know that the PPCC invited the contractor in question to the PPCC, to the head office of the PPCC, and went through all of that. The PPCC requested whether the company has social security document, and they provided that social security document. The PPCC issued no objection to that contract. The PPCC issued no objection to that particular contract. So you see, the contract went through a whole barrage of bureaucracy.
And before we get to other issues surrounding that quickly, how did the work of that particular company that was hired to do the work, what exactly did the company do?
Okay, thank you. Like I said, most of the machines were running in different areas, and so we issue another contract we call maintenance service contract, and then we have a spare part contract as well to produce spare part. So the company, you see it, everybody saw it. We didn't do anything hitting. We each time we move the media. We take media people to see what the company is doing. So now when they bring a concern, we carry media people to take pictures and see what the company is doing. So the company moved a whole barrage of team in the county, and they started working on the machine one by one. Each time one machine wakes up, we inform the focus immediately that one machine has woken up, and we on. Like I said again, people like you said, people say the companies claim that they still own Nima. Of course,
We must still owe you.
Nima still owning them. Of course, you know, when we went to the repair of the machines, there were different things we saw from the actual specification we get out, for which we get contract for. We saw additional different things. For example,
Additional problem that I want to mention.
additional problems. For example, you have fuel pump problem.
Yeah.
You will not know from the beginning to do a specification on that. But then, after you were work contract, you go to, because you only know problem on the fuel pump when the machine starts.
Yeah.
Or you know some different problems on the machine. Because all the machines are electronic. You will know different problems on the machine when you start them. But if you don't start them, you will not know those problems.
Yeah.
So all those machines, the time was doing all the specifications, they were not, none of them could start.
Mm.
You see, so when the guys move now and begin to start the machine one by one, you see additional problems start coming up. And you cannot leave it and say no. Say additional problem there, and then when not part of the quotation, you cannot do it. No, you don't do that. You will not do any work at all. So when you see additional problem, we'll handle it. We see additional problem, we'll handle it. At least we did it smartly, and we got 19 of the machines prepared and
Are they working for
ready for work. Ready for work. When we repair the 19 other machines, we have something in the country we call validation tour. We took all the media people in the country along. We took representatives from ministry agencies, the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Public Works, RAA, different ministries. We took them along, and then we went to all the more than 50 projects within the country. We went to them one by one for the media and the country to see exactly what the PMC is doing. And then we went as well to the machines, started the machine one by one, move them, try them one by one, in the full glare of the entire media, in the full glare of all the mass representatives who came, in the full glare of other citizens who came around to see what's going on. In the full glare, we started the machine one by one, try them one by one. Even the ones that were left outside of Gamba and repair them there, we move to them there. For just the sole purpose of, for example, we go to Gangway. What the time you have Gangway there? Behind place were here. Lithuania. We went to Lithuania. We have one of the machines parked way in Lithuania.
The town right around the St. John River.
Thank you. We went there to Lithuania because one of the machines were there. We couldn't bring it to Uganda to repair because it couldn't start. It was completely damaged. And so repair it there. To the extent we carry the entire team. More than 6-7 convoy, entire team to that particular place just to start the machine so they can see it. Just to try the machine so everybody can see it. We came to Gangway, one of the machines was in Gangway. We took the team in Gangway just to start that. We never had any project in Lithuania, but we did that so that everybody in the country would know.
So it's been a whole hurdle from where you are, Chairman.
But then afterwards, most of the people in Nima again were aware that the people working into the machine and used the machine for almost 3 months, from Sacré-Pied to Tabata to Sesto River, not Tabata, passing through Blood Diara to Sesto River. We carried the machines there for 3 months, especially during rainy season time, which was very chaotic. And we used the machine throughout on our corridor. And we came back to Sunday from that again. And you know how many kilometers I'm talking about? 200 kilometers.
So in a wake of this, there have been some people who have been saying, okay, yes, Mr. Yeremi, you are explained it, and then there have been some other people, including civil society organizations. Some of them have been saying that, recently here we have the chairman of the Nima branch of the Civil Society Council, like Alexander Yan, saying that, what we are saying here, we want for the chairman and the others to be audited. They are calling for audits. You think nothing there to be audited?
Okay, just to explain to complete my explanation
Okay,
about where they are basing their audit.
Mm.
You know, like I said, we come more than 200 kilometers to go to Sesto River.
Yeah.
And if I am making mistake now, maybe 100 or something.
Yeah. So
Kilometers.
from second
Not
year
exact.
to Tapeta is about 61 kilometers.
Yes. So we went to Sesto River, and then we came, we work, we moved the machine to the 7 between Fleeting and Guawin. We work there. Everybody plow that road. You see that PMC work there. We work in District 9, even they go to it, they lead to it. From lead to it to Gowan. If you see anybody plow that road, you see the road is clean, like water.
Passing through the glade there.
Like the passing through glade from Gowan, all the way passing through glade, you go to that particular lead to it. Passing by lead to it, go to the water side. We stop with the water of St. John River. We take it from St. John River all the way to Gowan. When you see yellow machine that is not working, that was not repaired. Then, not only stopping there, there are so many areas in District 9 that the machine has engaged, even in District 7. Then from District 4, we started a machine for BAM. Again, about road for BAM, the road was terrible. It was impossible for any motor to easily plow. So we told the machine from BAM all the way Gably. If anybody knows that particular corridor, more than 40 kilometers, talking about. And if you saw the way we do that, you can see car flying there with speed. And even in around this way, District 1 or District 8, around on our own area there, we did some work there. Several different, even District 2, we brought the machines to 2. We did some work with building. Different areas. Just recently, while we had the nurse going around, the machine stay working, but people stay seeing machine. They can see the machine working, they see the machine not working. But your basis or argument is that the machine not working. We prepare to spend this. Soon I will spend 500. I can just laugh because we don't know the figure. We actually spend what the machine to repair them. Even though we strive a lot to do that. But then you assume that we spend 500,000, or someone else say 900,000, someone else say 800,000 to spend the machine, and the machine not working. But yet you can see the machine. Even my friend, brother, is one young home. What is it home? Waiting man.
Yeah.
Waiting man. We get machine is working there. We went to work with the machine there. My brother and friend went to the citizens in the town, told the people the machine will not work here. Musa Bele bringing machine. I can Musa Bele machine way in down. When you tell the machine, Musa Bele machine for bam.
So what was his squad?
His squad is that he didn't want to see the machine working. So because we were pushing
He's asking for social audits.
Yeah,
Why is it that
I don't know. Because my understanding about social audit is to determine the citizen perception about a particular project. It's not about financial, it's not about anything.
it's not about wrongdoing?
For example, you go, we did school capital Bomera extension, which is completed and ready for dedication. We've soon dedicated that. We did that extension. Why social audit, my understanding is that if you want to do a social audit, you go to capital Bomera extension. As the citizens within the locality, their perception, the impact that school is making on them. If the school is not making any impact on the school, what the impact the school is making. For example, we say, okay, we did bridges, there are about 4 bridges of Boa Road, for example. And because those are projects we're doing now, we did 4 bridges of Boa Road that's completed. Now you go to Boa Road, drive on the Boa Road, as the citizens within that locality, this bridge they put here. What is the impact? Is the bridge causing more harm to you? What is the impact of the bridge? How are you faring? That's what it was social audit. But my surprise now is that social audit has taken a stage of demand, and people are assuming that people are accusing people, even people are accusing people, you say people corrupt, and so because they refuse to come.
As soon as you talk about audit, The next thing that clicks to people's mind is about something has gone missing.
Let me speak to this social audit issue.
Yeah.
Alexander Yang wrote the PMC. He wrote my office, chairman of the PMC. And he requested several documents from the PMC. And quoting the FOI, the Freedom of Information Law, that he wants those documents because he wants to do a social audit. And then now, when the e-communication came, we begin to process the communication. Because we feel that even if you have any motive, we are also advanced with the FOI law. That even if you're using the FOI to request for information, that information you request for carrying does not even have banning on the word of information. Anything you do with it has no legal banning. We are aware of that, so we're not afraid at all. So we begin to process the request. So what would they? Because you cannot write me, I do not have that sole authority to issue, to give you document if you have a reason requesting for that document. So why are they? I forwarded because everyone also says that if you requesting,
we talk about confidentiality.
It should be independent. There should be no reason in fact for you to ask to request for information. If you quote the FOI, that should be no reason. If I'm making mistake, section 4E spoke about that. It should be independent.
So his standing is not good. Is that what you want to say, Mr. Yemi?
So no, not at all. So even with that understanding, we still begin to process the communication. We say, okay, Superintendent, we do not have the authority. Please, can you act on this communication? We forward that information to the Superintendent office. That record on that. And then we did not just stop there. We wrote our friend Alexander, we wrote him informing him of our action. That
you started comparing those
that the communication that your request is in process.
Okay.
And then we have that we have forwarded communication with the Superintendent office for action. But later they will know our friend on radio VOG.
Well, was it taking too long? Was it taking too long? That's why he came up to the
time frame. The FOI time frame.
It's talking about 14, 30 days, 30 to 90 days.
The gentleman wrote the communication.
Yeah.
The gentleman wrote the communication. I wish I were in a good for project inspection. And when we wrote the communication, when we replied him, we stated reasons why we delay a little bit. We stated the reason clear why the FOI spoke about that too. Because you put the FOI all the time, so I put the FOI too.
Yeah.
So it's we put the reasons why it delayed a little bit. But then he was already on radio. Now when you get on radio too, you honor mine. Besides on radio, when we were present the communication, we were put on judicial notice by another CSO member. A recognized CSO member in the country will put on judicial notice. CSO member wrote us, telling us that there's a court ruling against the gentleman who we understood is soliciting information for you. Under the banner,
so his legal standing was questionable.
It was questioned by the CSO. So they put on judicial notice. And then we went further to clarify as to what the gentleman is saying is true. Whether there's a court ruling against his status. And we saw it. We saw the court, we had a court ruling in our possession. And then our reply, we mentioned it. We brought him again. Yeah. And told him, even though we were processing the document, but you should understand that SYZ. And then you went again, and by hearing that, the gentleman became wild. Now you're right now, as you're filing all the case. You're accusing the PNC of being corrupt, the PNC of being incompetent people, the PNC of being misapplying money. You already passed judgment.
So he doesn't have any proof to that because since indeed he hasn't accessed any document that something that have gone wrong.
Yeah, you call them corrupt people. So you already honor your own communication, you already honor your own request. So if you carry us anywhere, you cannot succeed because you already we are, as you say, you documenting, we are also documenting. So you begin to incite the poor. So you know why we see there now. what we see now is a fight for status, a fight for recognition at the expense of the capital of the PMC staff. Because what you try to do now, if the PMC submit to him, he has been recognized widely by the county administration, and so the national CSO will see him as a recognized CSO official in the county. And so say the PMC too is respecting the law.
I'm trying to say that Alexander Nya is trying to get some level of popularity at the expense of the PMC.
At the expense of the capital, demeaning the capital, each and every one of capital, to gain that popularity, which is wrong. And and most of the citizens, Nima citizens, are getting to know. Because initially, when he raised the debate, there was a rate of Nima citizens, good Nima citizens who are following him. How many are they following him now? Because they're getting to understand the issue. We are not afraid of it. In fact, let me let you know, Mark, we will be very happy if auditor come today in Nima. Because the reason why? Because I'm seated as a PMC chairman. I'm seated already. And auditor come, some of the things people need to know is that auditor will come, they're not 2 days, 3 days, 4 days thing. Auditor will come, and they will spend more than 2 months, more than 3 months. They will be, and the county administration will get a place to be in Nima, and will be auditing at the same time. And I will be the PMC chairman while the auditing. So you think I'm worried? Those who answer who already want to be worried because
So it's we have spent some time on this point, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Is this have some political motive from Ellis? His mood or probably like you just said recognition.
Normally, obviously after the elections, like I said, I intimated that we had some issues.
Was he a participant in the election?
No, he was not a participant, but he was one of those who
supporting somebody.
He was supporting somebody. And after the election, he criticized the election process. And even went and make a press statement against us. Since that time up to now, he has never been supported because he has always been in opposition. So it's not even strange to us. But now my only problem is that using our character to further gain popularity, which is wrong. Because you lying too much to the public. This is one of the lies. The gentleman went in one of the right house and said that the last county council allotted 10,000 to order the incoming PMC leadership. Can you imagine that? How will you allot 10,000? You have previous PMC, you are not ordered since 2013. 2014, you are never ordered the leadership throughout 2020. But then you are 10,000 to other people who are not even seeing the document you're preparing. Does that make sense? So you know that too much of lies in the public. You see a lot of people going away from him now. A lot of people going away from him now.
Isn't making this is much difficult. I know you love talking though, but is this job is a difficult one?
The job is challenging. It's not difficult.
Okay.
Because when you are on top of things,
okay,
you think nothing is difficult for you.
On top of your team.
Yeah, it's a challenging job because you between politicians, you between the public, and then you between professionalism too. So it's not easy thing. So you have to be more professional and beyond imagination to succeed at what we're doing. To succeed at what we're doing.
Okay, Mr. Yinami, we don't have much time. I want to say thank you for coming. But recently, a citizen from Nima, this is a brother one, was found dead and later on went through autopsy. What can you say as a stakeholder from the country?
There was
a princess. The family are also accepted for second autopsy.
It was a side event, and to see a burden or a young entrepreneur of our kind, and especially a kinsman, to die in such a mysterious way, sadly. And so I would just extend my condolences to the bereaved family, take heart, and also attach armed forces, many forces are calling for justice for the government to do the right thing to, to render justice to the family for the sad passing of our compatriot. And if you want me to end, I just have a small note to give to the people of Nima.
Okay, go ahead.
Concerning our projects, like I was going there. Just so the Nima people will know, as they have been speculated, we're not the type of people they are speculating us to be. We are prepared to go to Kansas City. We are prepared to make our own reports in the Kansas City. The report being made there. But I hear a lot of people saying we should not go to Kansas City and make report, but then we go to do social audit. Why will you say you want to go behind the horse? I say I want to go and show the public and scrutinize me. They say I will go behind the horse
And make it one
thing. So I appeal to the citizens of Nima to allow us to go to the public because the borders is not carried out.
Yeah.
So we want to go make the report to the public. The public will scrutinize us.
And you want to leave this position with a clean hands, probably.
Yes, because we are doing a lot in the country. For example, District 1, we did 10 handposts in District 1.
Okay.
That is completed and ready for delegation. Wow. We did 5 million beaches in District 1. In Ghana, it's completed and waiting for delegation. Now in District 2, we completed the people living with disability office, a very large office. It's completed and waiting for delegation. We are doing Chief Ellis compound in District 2 as well. It's almost finished. It's gone at 90%. In District 2, we did, like I said, we did 4 bridges on the Bois Road.
All of them were resoluted.
All of them. We did 4 bridges on Bois Road, completed and waiting for dedication. District 3, we're doing cleaning Kino. All the time, right now we're laying time, we're completing the tile laying, and the finished touches have been done now, and will soon be dedicated. We're doing cleaning Yomule, tile laying completed as well, the electrical work, everything completed, and will soon be ready for dedication as well in Yomule. Then we say in District 3, we did look by fencing, cleaning that there with the fence, the entire cleaning. It has finished 99%. Now in District 4, we're doing cleaning in Bopei. The plastering, ceiling work, everything finished. The electrical work is going, tiling will soon start and we'll soon finish that. In same District 4, we're doing marketing and with superstructure raised. All the pillars are later ran, and then roofing and zinking is ongoing right now. And basically, as well, it is some more percent as well. And then we're doing bridges in the same District 4. That's in Stanley, Baybona, and Sanapli. And those bridges are going 95% because only is outstanding. All the other ones are almost finished. And then in District 5, we're supposed to do a big bridge. On this dam bridge between the Pula. The Pula is somewhere there. And so the Honorable asked us that we'll do that because it's a resolution. So when we did the assessment on the bridge, and the money was too huge, we could not do it. Well, asked us to stay a little bit, wait until next county council before we do that bridge. So the money was not so bad by District 5. Now District 6, we did, like I said, we did extension of Captain Memorial High School, which is completed and waiting for delegation. We did cleaning in Grand Pied, a very big cleaning in Grand Pied. Also, 95% completed, and will also soon be dedicated. We did bridges, about 3 bridges from Towetan, Dogley to Bam. In between them, 3 bridges there. They are almost completed. And now, as we speak, the guys are calling us that by next week we'll be through with the bridges.
So some of the contractors, are they all from the country? Or?
They are all Nima-based contractors. And then now in the 7, we are also doing cleaning in Baipie, and it has gone far, almost 85%. Because we're dealing with zinking, we did plastering, we're running electrical, we're doing ceilings and all that in Baipie. In District 7, in Gaumba, we're doing extension, doing harness. of the school in downtown. And sports culture already raised. We started roofing by next week.
Chairman, they are
And
long
all
of projects.
they were doing a lot of projects in the Former Commissioner compound. It's almost completed on the 5% because the tower lane is completed, the bathroom, everything is being on the Former Commissioner compound. We're doing a lot of pictures in District 8 and several different projects running District 9, the same thing. District 9 will have challenges, a little bit delay, and we are issuing warning to the contractor over and over. But we are at the stage of making a relevant decision about the project, especially the Bobo Park, public school. It has been a challenge because the contractor keeps telling us the road is not good. During this time, they say the road is not good. To get material or stop. So to extension, essentially the work there has not really gone, not very far yet. We are just at financial level, which is unfortunate. So we're making a decision now. Like today, we're speaking to the superintendent. What we're gonna do about that particular I already go to the superintendent office. I just go to the superintendent office and informing him that there's a need to review the contractor document to see what we're gonna do, whether we're standing in the contract and take the action or whatsoever, or we can put more pressure on him to complete that. And that's what we're doing all over the county. And
so the PMC is not just sitting. PMC is vigorously working.
Not at all. And they will impress you to know that we are not being good to Kansas City since August, even though we should have Kansas City since August of 2021.
Yeah.
And since that now up and now, we are going to Kansas City.
The last sitting was in 2020.
2020, it runs for 1 year. So since August up to now, we are not going to Kansas City. Meaning the PMC does not have operational budget. But yesterday, we're using our own resources. I hear people talking about PMC. It pisses me a lot because we're using our own resources way out to those very projects to ensure that the projects are done. In the space of the time, what Kansas City is delaying, and you using your own money and going after projects, feeling for the country, feeling for the same people.
Mr. Chairman, I want to say thank you so much. From what we have listed, I think those who have been listening, they know exactly what you have been saying. And we're going to be, we too, who in the media, we're going to be doing some our own independent follow-up to ensure that some of what have been said here is actually the truth of the matter. This is how we call this show. So I want to thank you so much for joining us this hour on dinner and other radio station and television station.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Harris Yidami is the chairman of the Project Management Committee of Nimba County. He's been our guest here on Truth of the Matter. I want to say thank you so much. Keep following this station. Going to be making more and more. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.
I'm here for. Thank you, sir. Oh. Thank you.
Our education, that's bringing water, our road, even our hospitals.